Addicted to the high, I realize that I'm just chasing my girlfriend's obsession while my own feelings have gone cold. I'm just waiting for her to want me again, yet everything feels like a performance. I'm stuck in this toxic cycle. Can I break free? I recognize that I am a piece of work, as is evident in the title, but I do not understand why I feel the way I do or how to escape this situation. A summary is provided at the end of the post. I need advice or assistance in understanding what is wrong with me. Additionally, I have not felt this way from the beginning and have not intentionally misled her. I genuinely believed I loved her until I recently reflected and realized that I do not really like or care about anything about her anymore. I am merely chasing the feeling of her loving me again. We go through cycles in our relationship where she is extremely affectionate, obsessed, willing to do anything I ask regardless of how outrageous it may be, going out of her way to perform kind gestures for me, and planning her entire schedule around my day, for instance, only planning to do other things if I am at work or at the gym. Otherwise, she simply waits for me. She makes or buys me gifts, is very affectionate, learns about my interests during her free time, and all we seem to talk about is how much she loves me. Misses me, desires me, is happy to be with me, or admires me and wants to be like me, and how I make her so much better. She calls me the day after we have seen each other, in literal tears, sobbing that she misses me, wishes we lived together, and just wants to live in my pocket. We live an hour and 30 minutes apart, so it is somewhat long distance. A lot of our time is spent on the phone or on FaceTime. She does not want to do anything without me. This is to an extreme extent. She is hypersexual and forward, and we can engage in sexual activities and cuddle for entire weekends at a time without ever leaving the bed for anything other than showering, using the toilet, or eating. As a perfectly sexually functioning and very fit and healthy male, I take Cialis she does not know just to keep up. I am not going to lie, I do not feel smothered or bothered by it at all. I love it immensely. It feels amazing. I have never felt this incredible with anyone before. When we are good, it feels as if she is my soulmate and the only person for me. The issue is that it does not last. When the relationship began, this intensity lasted much longer, and she would not withdraw, but as time passes, she only exhibits this level of intensity for a couple of weeks, and then withdraws for at least a few more weeks to a month. It has reached the point where I now spend more time waiting for her to become that way again than I do actually enjoying the relationship. When she is in that state, I feel as if I am walking on eggshells in an effort not to ruin it and to make it last as long as possible, even though I know it is temporary. During these phases, I genuinely love our relationship and enjoy being with her so much. I do not simply like receiving this type of affection, I also love giving it back and treating her as the object of my affections. However, the difference is that I am happy to consistently be this way 100% of the time, whereas she ultimately feels smothered and pulls away. She becomes distant, barely responds to texts, does not want to call or initiate seeing each other, though she never outright rejects me when I ask. I just do not like pursuing her and enjoy it more when she is pursuing me. I only want to see her if she is enthusiastic, excited, or acts obsessed with me. She is busy, even though she would skip work or cancel plans for me at a moment's notice whenever I asked before. She only ever says I love you back, or if she says it first, it is right before she goes to bed. She never says she misses me. She is very curt with me, becomes sarcastic, and has an attitude. She shifts from discussing our future together to talking about her future alone, for example. When we get married becomes when I get married. And we should go to Europe next year becomes I want to go to Europe next year, etc. And it feels as if she transforms into an entirely different person. She becomes so distant that I swear it feels as if she is disgusted by me, resents me, or harbors some kind of contempt for me when we are together. I feel so anxious that I have noticed I am not even being myself. I am putting on an edited version of myself, performing to try to gain her validation and attention again. These phases now last longer than the positive ones, and it drives me mad. I used to be secure, but now I have become so anxious that I stalk her social media, constantly need reassurance, feel permanently nauseous or have an awful feeling in my gut, check her phone at times, and my whole world revolves around worrying about when she will like me again. Something small like her saying, "I miss you," or "I love you" first feels like a tremendous wave of relief, and when she is fully back into me again, it feels as if I am high on drugs. I have tried breaking up with her several times over this issue, telling her that it is clear she does not want to be with me anymore and that she is being cold. She denies it and claims that there is nothing wrong and that she is completely the same, which makes me feel like I am going crazy. I now document how positive and affectionate she is toward me, how often she initiates contact, and how often she says, "I love you" first, etc. There is a huge difference. She agrees to break up, Then 1 or 2 days later, she is calling, begging, crying, and pleading, making promises to change, becoming super obsessed with me and extremely sexual again, and at that point I can never say no. Everything feels great again and it seems as if things will work, but then gradually she withdraws more and more until there are only a few breadcrumbs of love and affection left. I have transitioned from being a very fit, driven, purpose-focused young man to being obsessed with her, skipping the gym, only able to concentrate on how she feels about me, sitting and just waiting for her to want me again. Nothing else feels like it matters in comparison to how she feels about me. I am hypersensitive to the slightest difference in her tone, facial expression, or delays in communication, etc. I feel as if I cannot be myself, and all I do is try to make her like me again. I have gone from being calm, confident, and easygoing to becoming an insecure, anxious mess. Even sex has turned into a mechanism for getting her off as many times as possible so that she becomes obsessed with me. There is literally no intimacy left. I do not even enjoy it, and it feels so performative, as if I am just mechanically trying to please her, doing what I think she will like. It is one of the few ways that I can guarantee validation from her consistently. I am not even physically attracted to her anymore, to be honest. I also realize that there is not much that I like about her upon reflecting on our relationship. She is very pretty, truly model-like in both looks and body, and actually very smart and competent in many areas, but that is about it. I only appreciate the feeling she provides and the way she makes me feel, and I typically engage with her on a superficial level to receive that from her. When we talk about normal topics that do not relate to our relationship, love, or sex, I often feel bored and uninterested. Even my love and care for her and doing anything she wants is merely me treating her as an avatar for me to pour love into in order to feel good about myself. I do not genuinely care about her anymore. I have also realized that I walk on eggshells to avoid treating her well. If I do not treat her well, maintain distance, ditch her for plans with friends, leave her on read, etc., she is back to being obsessed, chasing me down and in love all over again. However, as soon as I reciprocate her affection, she withdraws. This dynamic is incredibly frustrating, confusing, and hurtful. I do not truly connect with her on a deep level, and what I perceive as connection and intimacy is simply me forcing her into an idealized fantasy version of herself. Despite the intensity, our relationship is quite superficial and devoid of actual love and care for each other. The problem is that I dream of the possibility that she might change and love me consistently. I have already invested 2 years into this relationship, and we have numerous plans for the future. Whenever I manage to muster the strength to try to break up with her, she has managed to pull me back in, and I know I am not strong enough to resist. Therefore, I allow her to believe that we will get married, move in together, and build a life together. Deep down, however, I know this relationship must end, and I need to escape as soon as possible. I feel like a terrible person because she is genuinely a good person who does so much for me. Unlike me, I believe she loves me but struggles with intimacy, while I am merely using her for attention and the euphoric validation that comes with it. Please assist me. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with her? Can we resolve this issue, or is this relationship destined for failure? Summary: my girlfriend acts obsessively toward me until I reciprocate, at which point she withdraws and becomes cold. I realize I do not love her. I am just chasing that feeling of her obsession again and idealizing a fantasy version of her that does not exist. While she is cold, I feel as though I am losing my mind and anxiety takes over my life. I understand I need to break up but feel too weak, so I am leading her on. Story 2. My friendship with Metallica's Kirk and James has turned into a twisted game. Kirk once said, "Metallica is nothing without you," yet led me on. After I got knocked out at a show, they never reached out. Now they want me at their Tampa gig, but I'm done playing their game. What do they really want? I know two famous individuals from Metallica, Kirk and James, all long distance, and we have a very strange and extensive history that I cannot even begin to explain. They are older individuals now and their fans were in their 20s, but I am discussing this with a man, a friend, and he does not believe that I know them. I am contemplating how to remove these people from my life. They intrude upon my life in ways I cannot articulate, and I want nothing to do with them or their antics. I used to be something like a long-distance fan or groupie. There is still a bizarre situation occurring between us, and I want nothing to do with them, yet they invade my life inexplicably. They also wronged me significantly years ago and continue to play games. For your information, they are terrible individuals who intentionally harm others, and Kirk once stated that he wanted a connection with me, claiming that Metallica would be nothing without me, which was nonsensical given that they consistently mistreated me and led me on. Kirk even said that I did not deserve to marry him and did not merit half of his fortune, and he barely knew me when he made that statement. I am unsure what he meant by that. Perhaps he genuinely liked me, but felt I did not deserve to be involved with them. I was supposed to meet them after their first show in 2017 but just left, and during their second show I planned to meet them afterward. However, at one point James was singing to me and a man became jealous, came over and knocked me out. I felt so embarrassed, and when I looked at James, he gave me a look that said he was sorry, but then he rushed to Kirk and they started talking about me. I was so mortified that I did not stay to try to meet them. They were expecting me to be there, but it seems like this was a long time ago now. They have done all sorts of crazy things and attempt to make it up to me by incorporating it into their businesses and merchandise. It is complicated. I was a fan 8 years ago, but it was all long distance. I do not think they will ever stop, and it is somewhat pathetic and involves a great deal. James even plays a sheriff in movies because of it all, and Kirk will no longer update his Twitter account due to it. I have asked James to cease this nonsense, but he simply will not. We do not communicate anymore, yet it feels like a game that has persisted for 8 years, and they are still playing it. They are releasing a film titled Metallica Saved My Life, specifically named that because I used to post about how Metallica ruined my life. It is a lengthy story, but there is an inside joke that has been ongoing between us. Kirk used to claim he would provide me with attention on Metallica's Twitter years ago, but the game now is that they give it to everyone else except me. Therefore, they intentionally post about other fans on their Twitter just for amusement. That is not even half of it. Kirk once told me I was the fifth member, but then they intentionally made Lady Gaga the fifth member, which they seemed to enjoy. Initially, it was harmless fun for them, but then it became serious due to other matters. They even befriended their adversaries on purpose as they were being unkind to me. Lars and Rob were not involved in this, but occasionally Lars assisted them when they attempted to draw attention to others and flaunted it in my presence. They were aware of what was happening. It is cruel to do this to someone and continue with the games. Now they are coming to a town near me and they secretly want me to attend their show, but I do not plan on going. When they initiated this nonsense, they wanted me to be in the audience at their shows, and Kirk tried to invite me to an event he had in Salem, but I did not attend. I did not think he would meet me, and it appeared they merely wanted me in the audience, or perhaps I was confused. James once asked, "Do you want to return to your boring life or do you want to be part of Metallica?" It is a long, strange story and not interesting. Everything they did was sick, twisted, and bizarre. Kirk is even having conversations with Kirk Hammett, and years ago he showed me how to obtain a ticket, which was the only way he would even meet me. It is not even the original Kirk Hammett, it is like a substitute performer. He told me secrets about Kirk's childhood or some nonsense years ago. He shared so many strange things I cannot even begin to discuss. They believe they are Metallica and that anyone is fortunate to receive attention from them. I do not wish to be involved with them at all, but we have a twisted, bizarre history now, and it is somewhat terrifying, involving other matters I cannot detail. Kirk used to tell me about the sexual fantasies he had involving me and mentioned that I, and James would meet at Metallica night. It is not that I ever cared or desired that. James always behaved as if he liked me, but also as if I were not good enough for them. I regret not meeting them after their concert initially or meeting Kirk in Salem years ago. Kirk promised me a blue Mercedes and showed me a picture and a house in San Francisco, but he merely lied and led me on. He would give me fake credit card numbers and pretend he would purchase things for me from IKEA or Best Buy just for amusement. Kirk used to insist that I seek attention for this and made me inform my dates that Metallica was stalking me. All they did was play games, and it was because I did not meet Kirk in Salem or something similar. They did truly bizarre things to me for a year, and Kirk kept urging me to create videos about what they were subjecting me to and wanted me to gain followers because of it, but no one was interested. Kirk produced a Portals video that looked exactly like the videos he had me create years ago. I believe they find all of it entertaining. I once mentioned to Kirk that I enjoyed science, so he and Lars went to CERN and made a science video which he had me watch. Kirk claimed that Lars assists him on occasion. James thought they were excessively flattering me for participating in all these activities. There are more things they did and it made no sense. Initially, I was somewhat excited, thinking, wow, I can't believe these Metallica people know who I am. But then I think I lost interest. I do not know how to eliminate them from my life. I am older now and somewhat angry that they did not take me on tour as they promised. I do not even care about that. It is all the other nonsense they subjected me to. Kirk acted sorrowful that I was not on tour with them and later invited me to join, but he did not give me the opportunity to accompany them. It made no sense except that they associate with much younger fans. They plan to come to Tampa, and I know they secretly want to see me at their show merely among the audience. I hope they do not desire more. They are older individuals now, and I fear they want us to eventually be together one day, which I do not really want. Some of the things they do relate to the events that occurred between us. It is complicated, and once I saw a woman on Twitter claim that James Hetfield hacked her iPhone and that their album connects to her friend who shares the same name. I am unsure if her story is true, but they engage in strange behaviors like this based on my experiences. I used to feel slightly bitter that they never truly met with or spent time with me, or perhaps I was just confused as they acted like they liked me. James may have divorced his wife due to some internal events related to this. I cannot verify that for certain, but it is a long, complicated story, and I was supposedly destined to marry him, although that was never going to happen. I believe he may have divorced her because of this game. He subsequently started dating various celebrities and now has a girlfriend. It is not that he was ever going to be with me, but he may have done it to continue playing this game, although more is involved that I cannot elaborate on. It sounds somewhat crazy, but it is what has been happening. I no longer wish to be a part of Metallica and never did. I once found a groupie of theirs online and Kirk threatened me never to speak to her. They are kind to their fans yet engage in strange behavior with others. James even cancelled their Australian tour years ago and either went to rehab or claims he did because of something that occurred with me. It is a very long, odd story involving a lot and I cannot discuss it. It is not a good situation. The entire scenario between us is a long, strange, tragic story and it is all long distance, yet they continue to play this game and expect me to attend their upcoming show as well as Kirk's meet and greet, etc. I am not even sure why. In the past, Kirk would create meet and greets and attempt to encourage me to purchase a ticket because that was the only way he would meet me. He even made me buy a ticket to Metallica night once, claiming he would be in VIP. They seem to want me to chase them and waste my money on top of everything else. My friend reassured me that they do not care about me and that they have essentially never met or spent time with me. They simply lead me on and enjoy making me suffer, which is true. Therefore, I feel somewhat better and am just relieved they do not desire anything from me and hope they do not aim to pursue any of it.